Okay, yes. So another part I do have to include and discuss uh, in understanding how we got to this point, how I got to this point, um, having to reverse engineer electrical engineering, and learning truly what cold electricity is versus hot electricity, how hot current amperage is by design inefficiently and wastefully engineered into all of our technology and modern electrical grid. And it's absolutely insane. And when you truly grasp all of those aspects and how it all works, and like duty cycles, and how you're spinning the electron particles to then be vibrating on specific harmonic waves and frequencies, and then operating on the difference of AC DC. And I also don't want to go too far into all of that on this specific Dead Man Switch, because yet again, that is another complete disruptive technology that a lot of people have been killed and silenced over the years. And that, yeah, it's absolutely real. It's absolutely mind blowing, the level of inefficiencies that are engineered into our actual electrical systems and workings and devices and technology. And that, like, how they claim, oh, free energy is impossible, over unity is impossible, but it's like, you're not, the energy is not coming from nowhere. You're literally, the majority of these free energy electrical devices and technologies are why like to call it over efficiency. It's just re-efficiency, because the current models that we're all using are so wasteful with the resistance and heat energy loss that is designed into these systems, compared to the low actual energy need and like loss, especially through transmission. And like, it's insane between cold electricity and like the exponential levels of magnitude of how wasteful our current stuff is, that it's like, it's so easy to get a 200, 300, 400x gain just within like engineering the current technology into its like more efficient, more intelligent manners, but that it's done intentionally to scam humanity and essentially debt enslave us all. But that again, one of the major uh, disruptive breakthrough technology tech understandings that get a lot of people killed and silenced, or people go insane when they get frustrated when they actually figure it out, and uh, how bad it is. But for instance, here's a prime example. So literally, there's like regulation, I believe in the US, where solar panels can't be like built, and the inverter converters and production system have a higher efficiency than 20% or 22%, something like that. Okay, so it's like by law, you have to, the technology you build on your solar panel has to only be allowed to have a 20% output. So just by like, if the laws didn't regulate it and the manufacturers were allowed to utilize the full potential of your solar panel devices, you would be getting a 400% gain, a 4x right there. Okay, so like, it's like, that's not fucking coming out of nowhere. That's literally by design, racketeering, structuring, and then lying to the masses and enslaving the minds of all students, saying that, oh, you can't violate the second law of thermodynamics, except that they don't tell you that that law is written for a closed single circuit, not an open dynamic system that, has like another antenna bringing like some charge and energy in, or like, you know a million other things, radiant heat, freaking chemical electrical energy, uh there's so many. I'm just not gonna go into it. And that's just the open system aspects, and not even, or open circuit, like engineering, electrical engineering, and the difference between, well, it violating a law and the law not applying to what you're doing. And that, yes, such devices as the Don Smith generator, collecting radiant energy through plasma arc and then being able to rectify it into the usable. And see, here's another big part of the scam. What the revolutions per minute, and the what do I said it earlier, but it'll come back to me. But anyways, it's like the Hertzian rate, or the cycles, the duty cycles. Okay, so that to rectify usable electric current in our hot energy system, you then have to like spin it around, like, so DC current, static current, all these different cold electrical charges, to rectify it into being on the same usable harmonic wavelength frequency as what the grid electric frequency um, wavelength is at. You have to then spin it a whole bunch of times to get it into coherence to then work, where then that again, a major intentional, most likely hijack of Tesla's work. And I don't know. See, this is where we really have to go back to the Tesla Edison and take another look at what was really going on. And maybe Tesla first unwittingly um, took out Edison's free energy system, uh, with his plan of the Wardenclyffe Towers and delivering a mass free AC energy system, only to be hijacked by JP Morgan, amongst others, that shut him down, and his Westinghouse patents, I believe, and how it went into the modern electric grid energy control system. Okay, and that there again you have several exponential gains of usable electricity when engineered properly, and our technology, electronics devices, made better. And this is where China has actually taken the massive lead in. For instance, all why how are their little drones, how are the quadcopters so efficient with the amount of battery to, well, it goes back to Tom Bearden not breaking the dipole. They're DC magnetic motors, and that you're not freaking creating this resistance breakdown of the field and the energy collapsing and having to be re-put in several times in full magnitudes of losses per cycle, compared to the DC pulse magnetic single nonstop, pulsing that uniform harmonic um, cycle that the DC motor goes into. All right, and giving you exponential better efficiency. And if you're following what I'm saying, as most intelligent people in these fields should be, you'll really start to get it. And how I first got it was from Mehran Keshi, a third generation nuclear physicist scientist of Iran. His father was the head nuclear physicist of Iran at one point. Mehran Keshi literally grew up in nuclear reactors as a kid, following around his father and grandfather, who were nuclear physicist scientists working for Iran. At which point, one point of time, his father was the head of it, and so he isn't really taken serious in the West, when in fact, uh, covertly, he 100% is, and that he actually worked 10 years for Bay Systems while living in the UK. Then, when I first started interacting with him, he was in um, Belgium, and that he was actually lured there as a setup by essentially the same group that killed Stan Meyer and so many others. And they, I'm not going to go full into the story of that. That's going to be in another disclosure episode on the full dealings and interactions and experiences I had working with the Keshi group. Keshi weekly Zooms of 5 hours twice a week for 5 years straight, with several different working groups within, some breakaway working groups, and where I experienced and helped develop actual uh, insane technologies that, like, you you wouldn't really believe me. You got to see it for yourself and experience, and how actual easy it is to do these things. And that is yet another disruptive breakthrough technology, the actual plasma fields. And yeah, I'm not gonna say too much to like could potentially be taken against the rest of the insane claims, and uh, mostly evidence that will all be proven, tested, uh, and proven correct, theories and methods that I have described here today in this first episode of Dead Man's Switch. What BurnEye's discovered and developed and reinvented um, over the last decade. And as I'm starting to ramble on, and we're getting to a full hour here, I believe I've given enough information. I think I've covered 6 full disruptive technologies now, that I'm fully, like, I'm ready to write the patents for all of them, and developed all of them, and have kept quiet on, but feel that my hand has been forced to move, and that my with all of this, especially with the quantum matter and nanocircuitry and the understanding of it all, how it works, that I know how to make it all. I'm needing to file the patents on all of it. I'm ready to do so. The fact that Hal Puthoff himself has been looking for essentially me and what I have for 30 years. It's the part China's missing. They have 2/3 of it. They are working with Keshi. Keshi doesn't fully understand it all. And what he says publicly and calls certain things, I'm not sure if that's intentional misdirection, as I have put out some misdirection too, as we all do include it within certain things, just to not give away specific uh, technologies that can be manipulated and used by nefarious forces, and that this is all for the purpose of peace, harmony, and uniting and advancing human civilization, and getting rid of the need for conflict, fighting over resources and artificial scarcity, when in fact It can all just come from how you work with water and metals and salts. It is advanced ancient alchemy, cold fusion, and this is the end of BurnEye's Dead Man Switch episode one recording being uploaded privately to a bunch of channels that you do not have permission to publish this unless I am dead or Jeremiah is dead or we have been disappeared for a certain amount of time, and do not share this with others without our permission. And that literally what I am saying is honest to God truth. I have proof of it all, as does Jeremiah, and what I have covered in here is just a fraction of what we've developed and been working on. And it is all coming out. It's more than us just two. It's large groups of several independent working groups all coming together, all responsible for your amazing breakthroughs, and that we wouldn't have all gotten here without you together, and everything that everyone has contributed and developed into this. And we have reached the point of mass, critical mass. We've reached critical mass, and it is inevitable. And I know in my heart we are doing God's work and will, and for the good will mankind. And that's enough of this. Love you all, and hopefully this gets published once everything's declassified and we're all still alive together. Much love and respect.
You crazy mother. Yeah.
It's just burning.